All right. Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Patrick Smyth before the 2017 Lake Sonoma 50 mile. How are you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing well.
We have not chatted since you won the U.S. Mountain Running Championships 2 years ago. What have you been up to?
So last year, 2016, I did a lot of running on the roads. I did 2 big marathons. I did the Olympic trials, and I did New York City. And I did a lot of road racing in between. So kind of a year off from the trails, I guess, but coming back with trails as like the sole focus this year. So it should be fun. How
did those 2 big marathons go for you?
Good. The Olympic trials, I was 8th, and then New York City Marathon, I was 10th. Neither were blazing fast times, but the Olympic trials was hot, and the New York City Marathon is just, tough course, and I felt like I was happy with the performance. I just kind of grinded it out, and it just wasn't particularly like lightning quick time, but to finish 10th, I was real happy with that.
Any highlights on the races shorter than the marathon on the roads last year?
Yeah, I guess I was top American at Bloomsday, which is a road race up in Spokane, Washington, and top American at Beta Breakers in San Francisco. And then I ran out in Maine at the Beach to Beacon race and did top 10 there. So yeah, a couple good shorter highlights.
Nice. And so have you did you take any time off after New York?
A little bit. I kind of got a little bit greedy and decided to go hop in the Xterra trail race, and I wasn't really recovered, and I ended up getting a little bit lost and just having a bad race in general. But I probably shouldn't have raced. I should have shut it completely down after that. So I took one crack at a trail race after New York City.
And then after Xterra, did you take a down period?
Yeah, I did, finally.
Yeah.
Just kind of like wound it down a little bit, enjoyed the holidays, and then got back to it in the new year.
So what does a down period look like for you?
For me, it was a couple weeks. Like first week, not really running. Maybe if I felt like it, I would hop on the bike and spin a little bit. And then the second off week, I would never run any more than 6 miles on a given day, and just go run when I felt like running. Yeah.
And did you kick off your trail season at Way Too Cool, or did you run anything before that?
I ran U.S. Cross Country Championships, but that was in February. But Cool was my first trail race. Yeah.
And it didn't go as well as last year. Last year you set the course record, like 3:04, what was it?
Yeah, 3:04. Yeah.
And this year you're about a half hour slower. So something probably happened out there.
Yeah, it was just a enormous bonk. I just totally misjudged the nutrition. I misjudged that the course was in a lot different shape than it was in 2015 when I ran 3:04. So I kind of just thought I could go out there and do the same thing that I did in the year previously, but it was just a different beast. It was a different course, and I didn't gauge it right at all, and ended up just blowing up real bad.
So not indicative of your fitness, just a bad race.
Yeah, definitely. I was actually feeling pretty good going into it, and which is why I kind of like went after it hard. I was like, I want to take a crack at getting around 3 hours. But it just, that wasn't the same course at all, and yeah, I paid the price.
So here you are at Lake Sonoma, 50 mile. You've probably, what's the longest you've run time-wise? Like
time on my feet?
Yeah, like Way Too Cool?
Yeah, like 3 hours, 3 hours 30. Yeah.
So you're looking at 6 hours, at least 6 hours, just about. So what makes you want to run a 50 miler?
I think that I can do well, first of all, and second, it's this one in particular is kind of a very runnable 50 miler, so I like that aspect of it. Yeah, I think it'll just be kind of an experiment, see what my limits are.
And so you didn't want to jump into something along the lines of like the speedboat 50K when you dip your toe into the 50 mile or 50K realm.
I like to think I'm getting a little bit wiser here, like kind of picking and choosing the races that I'm maybe a little bit more suited to. And then also like wiser in the sense that you can't go out at 5 minute mile and 50K or, you know, definitely not a 50 mile for that matter. So yeah, just learning from the past mistakes and moving on.
Now, I mean, so you know that consciously, but starting out on tomorrow morning, it's going to feel really easy if you, I mean, what is your plan? Is it to go out hard, or is it to like maybe just stick with a group of people and relax?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be sticking with a group of people. I would really like to, you know, still be in a like good company of like 5 or 6 guys at the turn, you know, at 25 miles, and then really, you know, start kind of turning the racing brain on and start really working at that point is my plan.
So you think you have the mindset that you can control the pace early?
Definitely, yeah. I think that especially in training this last month or so since school, you know, I've kind of just focused on getting in the mindset of, especially on like my longer runs, zoning out a little bit and focusing on nutrition early on, and just like don't even look at the watch. I don't care what the splits are. They could be slow, they could be a little bit fast. I'm not going to worry about it. Just want to stay packed up and, you know, in contention to win.
Now, have you changed your you know, your training pattern in terms of your mileage overall in a week or your long run in preparing for this race?
Not too much. I still is stuck with like a traditional like kind of marathon buildup. My longer runs have been a little bit hillier and more nutrition focused. So the longest I went was, you know, 24-25 miles, you know, in training, and just, you know, focusing on getting in fuel and just kind of monitoring, you know, systems a little bit better.
Now, do you have any expectations for what the challenges might be, physical or mental, after mile 25?
Yeah, the great unknown. I think that it's definitely going to be tough, especially on this course, because I think it's tougher on the way back, just because you're going to be tired, but also because it seems to be a little bit more roll a little bit differently on the way back. Yeah, I think mentally I'm prepared for it. I know that I haven't, like, you know, breached that void, but I think that so long as I run smart early, the later stages of the race, I'll be just fine.
Now, one of the things on the line for tomorrow is a spot in the Western States 100. Would there be any temptation to run that if you got one of those spots?
No. No, not this year. Yeah, I just focusing on this race. I kind of like, this is, I guess, my Western States, you know, for 2017. So I wanted to like really focus on doing well at this race and having a big, you know, breakthrough, hopefully at 50 mile.
Now, this is a big step up from 50K. It could be double the time, more or less, than you've run. If things go poorly out there, like if it's rough, is there, you know, an urge for you to, you know, just finish it out, if like to go through that unexplored distance and get that experience, or if, you know, it's a crappy day, do you just shut it down out there?
Yeah, I think depending on, you know, how really terribly it goes, I like to just push through and you know, get through that distance. You know, for better or worse, you know, you learn something from it. So yeah, I'd like to, even if it goes bad or starts going south, I'd like to push through.
Now, what's the best you think you can expect from yourself tomorrow?
I think I'm capable of winning. So I just want to make sure that I'm in, you know, the mix in contention the whole time. And I think, you know, over those later stages, if I can, you know, throw in one or even 2 moves to just kind of like put some distance on, that would make my day.
Now, being in contention to win, what would it be like if, you know, there's a bunch of people with really fast pedigrees in the race, whether it's Ryan Bach or just some of the folks who've never run an ultra before? If someone goes out at, you know, 5:15 pace, are you going to be tempted to stick with them rather than, you know, maybe a pack chasing them?
Yeah, I probably will be tempted to just kind of like go along, depending on, you know, how fast it is. You know, if it's, I think I have a good gauge on what's reasonable and what's stupid at this point. So I guess it'll just depend on what kind of a hot pace it is. So.
Well, best of luck out there, and I hope you enjoy the experience.
Yeah.